considering setting up a fund with you. I know that you have holdings in Puerto Rico and across the states that are owned in your fund. What are the tax incentives? Is there a benefit to me bringing friends I have who are in Puerto Rico now as residents onto the fund to save in taxes? Most of my deals are in California, but I would be willing to do a deal or two in Puerto Rico. Or what would you recommend in just setting up? Should I just go with California? How does your fund operate and pay taxes?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you how I do it. And whatever I do, I can assure you I've done a lot of research. I have in-house attorneys, etc. So it's not done on a whim. It's done with a lot of studies, then I do it. So my fund is set up as a California LLC because most of the deals are done in California. So that's how we do it. Now, it's an LLC that flows through to a Puerto Rico corporation. So the corporation is in Puerto Rico. The LLC files taxes like a corporation. It says on tax ID, files taxes in California because it's conducting business in California. I would suggest you do the same. You just set up in California, since the transactions, you say you're going to be transacting, the fund will operate in California. So set it up in California. LLC in California will make your life a lot easier, and you keep good accounting, and people will invest very comfortably with you in California. And if they're in Puerto Rico and invest with you in California, when they get paid, that's earned income from the States. So they're going to pay taxes on it. So because when they go to Puerto Rico, on Puerto Rico earned income, they pay less taxes to no taxes. Now, you cannot do 80% of the deals in the US and then 20% in Puerto Rico and get the tax benefits. To get the tax benefits, you're going to have to set up, now forget the Puerto Rico, forget the California LLC setup. If you want to, you can set up, you will have to move to Puerto Rico, take residence in Puerto Rico, set up a fund in Puerto Rico that's called the 185. This is a very unique thing. Most attorneys don't even know about it. And when you set up that fund in Puerto Rico, you being resident in Puerto Rico, you'll have some tax incentives for that particular fund, so long as that fund invests 80% of the money in Puerto Rico and only 20% outside of Puerto Rico. And when they invest money with you, they have to be Puerto Rico residents. And when they invest, immediately when they give you money, they get 60% on whatever they invested in tax deductions. And the money they get is taxed at 4% only. It is unbelievable for the billionaires and the multimillionaires moving to Puerto Rico. I've been set up there since, 2003. And now, God knows how many years later, 19 years later, everybody thinks I'm a genius, that I was a futuristic guy, that I could see the future, that I'm Nostradamus and whatever. I didn't know all this is going to happen. It just happened because they had hurricanes and they had problems and the economy was difficult. And for me, it worked because I was in Old San Juan, which is isolated from the world. It's where the cruises arrive, etc. Even COVID made it do better. We're running at 100% occupancy. We've never done that in 18 years. But the thing is, they have very strong tax incentives for people to relocate there. And now they added tax incentive for the people who relocated and local people to invest in real estate projects to boom. So that's a whole different world. Don't convolute your mind with it. It will change your life if you go and relocate there. Not many people can do it. And you have to be making a lot of money to justify for yourself and your family to go live on an island. I'm not living there. I took residence there because of an exception in IRS rules. I'm sitting in Cancun as I speak to you, and I go to California most of the time now. So, but I follow the rule. The rule have certain checklist things. If you're staying internationally, you spend less time in Puerto Rico. If you take residence in Puerto Rico, you have to be there 183 days. And believe you me, you will get audited. This is Joe Biden's time. Nobody gets tax benefits unless they get checked and cross-checked. Okay, so to summarize, best way to do it, set up your fund. We'll be more than happy to set you up. That's what we have in the US. California, if you're doing the deals there, you'll be exactly like what I have. We'll set it up. You'll just have to make a choice between the Reg D 506C or the Reg D 506B. The B is for family and friends, no public solicitation. The C is for public solicitation, non-accredited, okay, no accredited only, etc. So we'll go through all that with you when you're ready to set it up. Now, if Puerto Rican people want to work with you and you want to get money from them, if you're working with us, there are some attorneys that can make the money, even though it's coming from the US, make it look like it's coming from Puerto Rico through an extra layer of property that will be managing the investment, getting the money in Puerto Rico and then paying them. So it will be Puerto Rico sourced income paying them. I filmed these, you can play it slowly and you will see that last part. In other words, we'll create an extra step. So they will invest, but there'll be a management company in Puerto Rico. They'll invest from Puerto Rico to California in your fund. When California pays them, it's not going to pay them direct, it's going to pay a management company there, and then the management company is going to pay them. So at the end of the day, they get from a Puerto Rico entity, because Puerto Rico sourced income is taxed lower. And this entity will help and put all the legal deductions, so they will be taxed a lot lower. Hopefully I didn't confuse you. I helped you. Conclusion, set it up in California.